Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this debate. Before we begin, we'd like to take a moment to honor our great city by playing the Melonian national anthem. Absolutely beautiful. We'd just like to shout out Scion, of course, real quick for writing that. Very awesome. But all right, now it is time to read the scripted part. Hello and welcome to the first senatorial debate for the District of Expansia. This debate has been created and is brought to you by the Melonian Committee for Debates, headed by Chairman Michael Webb, Mayor of Melonia, with Rag Simbad of Taladosia and Melonian Vice Mayor Josephine Mira as members. The audience is reminded that they shall remain silent throughout this debate unless called upon by a debate moderator to ask a question. The other rules are for debate members. Do not lie or be dishonest regarding a question or response. No use of logical fallacies. Keep a serious and respectful environment during the debate. Do not interrupt someone while they are speaking. Do not talk out of turn. Stop speaking when your allotted time is up if there is an assigned time limit. And finally, do not make jokes excessively. We would like to get to the point in order for the debate to help citizens decide which candidate to vote for. With that out of the way, let's begin, everyone. All right. So, would you like to read the first question, or should I do it, Mira?
I will do it.
Which way you want to go? Your turn.
Senator Scion, there are quite a few Hiernish citizens who have been naturalized into Melonia who live in this district. How will you represent these citizens in the Senate?
In the Senate?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well,
there
what does this entail?
So,
sorry. Senator, there's several, not several, but quite a few Hiernish people that live in your district. How will you represent them? How will you represent their ideals, their culture, etc., as your opponent is running on the ideals of Hernia?
Hernia.
My bad, sorry.
I will be very mindful of what they want. I will have them tell me what they want the Melonian government to do, and I will act on those principles.
How will you do that, Senator?
I will do that in whatever way works.
Okay. So, Mira, give me a pronunciation guide for this again.
Hiernish, like
Hiernish?
Yeah, like emphasize the the sound.
Hiernish. Okay.
Hiernish.
Your party advocates for Hiernish nationalism at the forefront banner. How will you represent the non-Hiernish citizens in your district in the Senate?
Well, I would just like to reiterate, before we continue, that the Parte Fagresta is not a single-issue party, and despite the fact that we do sort of predicate our main ideals on Hiernish nationalism, we do not seek in any way to exclude the Melonian majority. Now, of course, the Melonian government already has systems in place to ensure in a constitutional manner that a minority cannot dominate any other larger group. So, quite frankly, we sort of have to represent the Melonian populace because they are the majority, and the Hurons are a minority. And despite the nationalist agenda, you don't need to worry about us not representing the Melonians because constitutionally, in the way of referendums and democratic voting and all of that, we are obligated to defend the rights and interests of our Melonian base as well.
Okay. And a follow-up question on that, Banner. In your official party filing, your party declares that they are interested in direct democracy. Can you describe exactly what that means in your instance?
Yes, I would love to, actually. The Partei Vergrechte is very much in favor of using referendums as a tool to decide policy rather than simply debating in the Senate. We believe that since we are predicated on Huronish nationalism as a very core idea of our, party, we think that a good idea to reconcile the differences, perhaps, between our Melonian and Huronish bases, and to sort of assuage any concerns that the Melonian natives may have that we are seeking to, in some way, make the Huronish culture more dominant or important in this writing. We want to allow all citizens in the district and, really in the country, to vote on matters of policy if they do get a petition with a majority of the district signatures on it.
Okay. Senator Scion, do you have any response to anything that Banner has said?
Yes. So, for the direct democracy point, our party does fear that if we do, although it is good in principle, our party fears that if we do utilize it, it may slow down legislation. And legislation is already slow enough as it is with the infrequency of Senate meetings.
How do you believe it would slow passing laws?
So every law would have to go through a lengthy voting process, and every citizen must vote on that. So if we need to pass a bunch of different laws, there would be a bunch of different votes, and it would be a hassle.
Okay, thank you, Senator.
May I respond to that?
Oh, sure.
Well, it's not that every law would have to undergo a referendum, because it absolutely would not. I just want the mechanism for the citizenry to be there if there is a contentious issue and they want their voices to be heard directly. Every law that is passed will not be subject to a referendum. And it doesn't have to be subject to a referendum. If a majority of citizens in a given district sign a petition for a referendum, then a referendum will have to be called under the Partei Vergrechte framework for referendum.
Okay. Any response, Senator?
No.
Okay. All right. Our next question is also for Bannerman. You do not have any Melonian government experience, while one of your opponents, Scion, has been a senator since day one of Melonia's existence. How do you believe you'll be able to use your potential Senate seat better than Scion does right now?
Well, I understand and I respect the commitment to Melonia that Scion has already demonstrated. However, I am very, very experienced in matters of governance. As a matter of fact, I led Taladosia as a functioning democracy for many, many months, nearly a year actually. And it was a system that is rather similar to the Melonian system now, actually. So I believe that I am more than adequately equipped to use my experience as a democratic leader in Taladosia to help govern Melonia.
Okay. Do you have any specific policies or ways that you would say would... I guess what I'm trying to get at is, why are you running to defeat Scion? How do you feel you'll use his seat better?
Well, I believe that our framework for direct democracy and the referendum process will have a beneficial effect on the political freedoms of our Melonian constituents as well as our Huronish constituents. I believe that involving the citizenry more directly in the legislative process will ensure a good future and stability for Melonia going forward.
All right. Senator, do you have a response?
Yes. The more I
Okay.
hear about it, the more like I'm agreeing with the referendum idea. I at first thought that it would be like a lengthy thing, but if it's like petitions and stuff that citizens can do, we accept that. If there's something wrong with our government, we want it fixed as much as the citizens do.
Okay, so do you say that you believe you align more with Bannerman now than you did before?
Yeah, I do agree with Bannerman on this one.
Okay. Any further responses or anything like that?
No,
I
I'm
believe you
fine.
can move on to the next question.
Alrighty.
Right.
Next question. Oh, sorry.
I'll ask this one.
Awesome.
All right. Scion, what future plans do you have if you win this election?
All right, future plans. That I have a lot of them because I've been like sort of scatterbrained on what there can be done in Melonia. Most of it having to deal with like the expansion of the city to allow for more space for housing, like shops, industry, like especially public areas like convention areas and stuff. So that's just one aspect, like further city planning. And there's also the legal aspect of trying to make sure that more laws are passed that improve the lives of our citizens. One law in particular that me and Siestra have been thinking about is a universal basic income law.
Senator, how exactly would your universal basic income plan work?
We are not certain on any of the specifics, but we know that it would be a regular payment to citizens of Melonia, a small payment to get the economy flowing.
Okay. You got any further questions, Miro?
No.
Okay. Any response to that, Bannerman?
Yes, I do have a response. I would like to pose a question to Scion myself. How do you think you will reconcile a universal basic income guaranteeing that the food needs of all the citizenry are met by such an income? How do you think that you will reconcile this with local businesses specializing in food, such as, for example, State King?
That is a very good question. So, the thing with State King is that when you buy food at State King, you're paying not only for the food, but you are also skipping the process of cooking the food and crafting the food. It is a very convenient thing. As for with the universal basic income, you can perhaps use that money to buy food directly from a farmer. So that would be cheaper, but you would have to cook the food yourself or craft the food yourself or anything like that.
Very good. No further questions.
All right. I would like to pose one more question, but in this vein before we move on. Senator, does your UBI plan to be permanent, or simply while, for example, we need to bolster the economy?
I do not think it being permanent would be a good idea for all cases. So I believe it should be something that can be like enabled and disabled like a switch, depending on if the citizens need money or not. And right now the citizens do need money.
Instead of a regular universal basic income, we could do a series of stimulus checks instead. Like
that. Ideas like that are on the table. We have not decided anything specific yet.
Right.
Great. Well, in that case, if no one has any other further statements, I will move on to the next question. Okay. So, Banner, what would you try to get done as the senator of Expansia? Like, what bills or resolutions would you fight for the most? Of course, except for your where it's not coming to me, your referendum plan.
That is a good question. And while I will say that the referendum plan is definitely our top priority going into it, I also have plans to encourage the public use of the Melonian and Yurnish languages in all sorts of public spaces. As a matter of fact, I'm considering legislation that will mandate the use of both languages on public buildings. Furthermore, I do have a proposed bill to officially adopt Yurnish as a official language of Melonia, while keeping Melonia as the sole national language, so to speak. And we also have plans to, and this is sort of contrary to Scion's UBI idea, to engage in various public works projects, such as the further development of the Melonian road system and the development of the railway, as well as other public facilities, to host visitors and stuff like that from Taladosia and other allied groups, which I think is something to consider in the future. I believe that such projects will create jobs for the Melonian citizenry, from which they can obtain money, and I do believe that this is a more reconcilable system with local business than the UBI is.
Okay. Senator, any response?
Yeah, the one of the reasons we wanted to do universal basic income is currently Melonia does not have much money minted. So, and we are trying to find like ways to mint it that would not be like damaging to the economy. So we believe universal basic income would be a good starting place, and then we could do public works projects, pay people to work on them, and then we can also have local businesses like pay their employees, and then it's all just, like interconnected until we don't need UBI anymore, in which case we turn it off.
Okay. And you say you would put that toggle into the bill, right?
Yes.
On UBI? And if so, who would decide that?
Again, we don't have specifics, but some ideas are the mayor, it would be decided by the Senate, or it would be decided in a citizen referendum. Those are some of the ideas we have.
All right. Any other questions from Mira or any response from Bannerman?
Nay.
No.
Okay. Go ahead with the next question for the first person, Mira.
All right. So, currently, according to the census, 41% of Melonian citizens are unemployed. How will you encourage more citizens to work? And both of you are asked this question, but Banner will go first.
Well, I believe that by employing citizens in the development of public works projects, instead of just having the senators do it themselves, we will be paying the general citizenry money to do these projects for them. We believe that that is the best method to curb unemployment, as well as distribute money into the hands of our citizenry and get the economy jump-started.
All right. Senator, you're asked the same question. What is your response?
My response, similar to Bannerman, but I also want to emphasize like giving help to small businesses so they can get started, get like enough money to be able to employ their own workers.
Okay.
So like,
So are you proposing like a small business loan or grant?
Yes, something along those lines. Not sure exactly yet.
Okay. All right. Any more thoughts?
That's all for me.
Okay. This next question will be for both of you as well, and this time we'll have Scion go first. Melonia is always looking for new active citizens in order to get more done and to expand. How do you plan on bringing new citizens to the city, Senator?
So, starting with diplomacy, we should find new nation Minecraft servers that are similar to Melonia and Taladosia, and then start negotiation deals with them for a treaty, similar to what we did with Taladosia, except we of course do it again. Alternatively, we can also get more friends of ours to join the server. We have potential options like Meta64, and I have my own friend group that has expressed some interest but not enough interest to join. Perhaps maybe with some convincing I could get them to start joining the server. I won't bank on that though, because it's unlikely that they will be there for long.
Right, that's what I was just going to ask you. With your plans, how do you believe that you would be able to make these users active, not only on the server, but potentially active in the government, like voting and potentially referendums if that idea comes to fruition? Things like that.
For the members of the other nation, we would, there are a lot of things we can do. We can have them active in the server. We can go to house with them. We can have them work a job, active enough in the server for long enough to do some votes, and then it may entice some, not all, but some, the ones who would actually be interested in the government. It may entice them to start running for positions, stuff like that. So I believe this is something that can occur naturally.
Okay. Thank you. Banner, the same question is posed to you. How do you plan on bringing new citizens to the city, and what is your response to Scion's plan?
Well, the Partei Fagresta is actually taking a rather similar line to the Melonian Representative Party on this one, in the sense that we view diplomacy as our best method of recruitment right now. We are aware that the Hurnish Empire is engaging other groups at this moment, considering engaging formal diplomatic relations with these groups. And we are also aware that there is a plan on the table within the Hurnish Empire to establish a sort of coalition, like a United Nations body for the Hurnish Empire, these other groups. And we are aware that such an invitation will be extended to Melonia if that will happen. So we are going to fight if this idea does come to fruition. The Partei Fagresta will fight to ensure Melonia has a seat in this coalition. We believe that there will also be some level of cross-migration, particularly in the business area, between all of these groups, and that's how we're seeking to establish a greater population.
Okay. Do you have any more ideas on how you would bring citizens, or is diplomacy your absolute focus?
Well, diplomacy is absolutely our key focus. However, we are not going to abandon more conventional methods of recruitment, like encouraging people to invite their friends. It has been established, both in Taladosia and Melonia, however, that this is a slow method of recruitment. So we believe that we do need to explore another avenue. And diplomacy has been Melonia's single most successful method of recruitment thus far. I mean, nearly 30% of the Melonian populace is of Hurnish origin. They are the single largest origin group, aside from the founding members.
I have a question for Bannerman.
Go on.
So are you able to spare any information on the group that the Hurnish Empire is negotiating with to this debate? Are you willing to discuss it?
It is my understanding that Minerva is currently involved in this process, so I am not really going to go into details at this time, and really I don't believe that it's relevant to the context of the debate.
Alrighty.
Okay. Thank you for that. Any more questions or any response to that, Scion, or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And this last question, we just added actually, is for both of you as well. I guess this time we'll have Banner go first. how would you plan to recruit citizens into the Melonian Legion, as right now, of course, it sits fairly dormant?
Well, this ties into our plan for, well, jumpstarting the economy. We are going to have the Melonian Legion, with its payment system, simply be an attractive job for people to have.
Okay.
That's the summary of the Partei für Gerechtes line on this. We are going to have it be a well-paying job to be in the Melonian Legion, because it requires a certain niveau of commitment, so it's understandable that the pay would be higher than, say, someone laboring in public works.
Thank you. Thank you, Bannerman. Scion, how would you recruit citizens into the Melonian Legion, and do you have any response to Bannerman's method?
So, funnily enough, Bannerman outlined my exact plan for bringing new members into the Melonian Legion. So, not much more to add than that. We just agree on this point that this is the best way to bring more people into the military. I do not think things like a draft are needed at all, especially in peacetime.
Right.
But, yeah, not much more to add. Bannerman kind of did it for me.
All right. At this point, we don't have any more questions that we have written down. We're opening up to citizens who are here at the debate right now. If you would like to ask a question, we are allowing you to speak up. So say something in the MC chat, or just go ahead and unmute your mic and speak. If you don't have any questions, let us know as well. Just say no questions or something like that in Minecraft chat. So then we know if you're... Okay. I don't know where Blake is. No comment? Okay. All right. Well, I guess then we'll wrap this up. Thank you to all participants in this debate. From the debate members, Bannerman and Senator Easy_Scion. We really appreciate that you guys kept this as a civil debate and didn't let it get out of hand, as a lot of debates certainly can. We appreciate that a lot. And of course, thank you to the audience for remaining silent during this entire time. And of course, a thank you to the members of our great debate committee. We at the committee hope it was not only entertaining, but more so informative on how the candidates feel on certain issues and topics that Melonian citizens feel are important. We also hope it helps make your decision on who to vote for this election clearer than when you walked in today. That's all from us. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be on.
No problem.
Likewise.